Installation of a Tom's Bronco Parts aftermarket steering wheel. You have to get the right adapter for it when you contact them. Took the steering wheel off, put the spring on. Now we're trying to mount the, what's that called again?
Contact plate.
The contact plate.
The horn contact plate.
Horn contact plate.
But yeah, this is going to eliminate your ability for the self-canceling cam. You'll leave your turn signals on all the time if you don't manually turn them off. Which, in my opinion, rather sucks. Okay, well those both line up, right? Okay. Well, we're going to be fighting that spring this whole time, aren't we? Okay, so we did that. Horn contact plate, prior loop contact plate is installed. Okay, like it's just gonna stay down there all by itself.
This is the website that came with the
Install the spacer does
installation of it, but it was on a Chevy. And the Chevy only had one wire for the horn, and they had to add a ground contact at the end. And then we determined it has two adapter plates, and we have to figure out which one.
Yes.
So there's two depths of the adapter plate. See the difference there? I'm going to try the small one first.
Oh, poo. Hang on there. There we go. Let's see, that's wrong.
You got to take up that gap, is that what it is?
I believe so.
It's like a spacer.
That is my interpretation.
So once you tighten the
There we go.
nut down, it should take up that space there.
That looks much better. Okay. So water installed. Tap the spacer on top of this. Installing 3 shoulder bolts and 1 column shaft bolt.
And this is a forever sharp steering wheel.
All 3 shoulder bolts and 1 column shaft. Oh no, okay, that's it.
We probably won't need that wire in that other bag because we have 2 wires on our system, right?
Yes.
And that was that called a collar? Is that what it's called?
This is adapter spacer.
Another adapter spacer.
Whoa. It's rolling. This is going to be cumbersome. This is going to wind up being very cumbersome. I wonder what size these are.
And those are the bolts with the taper on them?
Long
Okay.
shoulder.
The long shoulder bolts, okay. And you have to stick your tongue out in order to make it fit in there. Let me hold it.
I gotta try and steer it. That's the problem. There's too many layers. They're all going different directions. That might have started. Yeah, that contact plate and the cover and the adapter, every one of these is on a little bit different plane. That one didn't actually start, did it? Rats. That one didn't start. This might make it easier.
And that's the steering column retainer bolt?
Yes, that's
Nut?
the old steering wheel nut. Ah, there we go. Okay, so that'll make sure you're not fighting the spring tension so bad.
Then you can just make little micro adjustments if you don't tighten it all the way.
Yes.
Alright, so the little shoulder bolts stick out a little bit. There's 3 of them. What size is that?
15/16 for the steering wheel retaining nut. It doesn't rock back and forth, so that's good. Those all seem to hold onto there. To install the steering wheel. Oh, where's our steering wheel and hardware for that?
Must be the black
Not
ones.
those bolts. Yeah, we want the black bolts.
Because the steering wheel fits on so many different cars, it's got a lot of different adapter kits in it.
Yeah, 'cause those are a countersunk bolt, which isn't going to fit right.
This particular center cap for the steering wheel is black, so it's probably going to have black nuts on it, bolts on it. Those nuts don't go on the bottom side of it, do they?
I don't believe they can.
Okay,
You won't be able to get to it.
true.
your threads are in there.
And we disconnected the plug to the horn under the dash.
Unplugged the steering harness as a whole, yeah.
So that we wouldn't get electrocuted. Although it was entertaining for me to watch him get electrocuted, but
I sure hope we don't have to take all this apart again just to recenter the steering wheel. So we didn't actually really make sure it was completely straight, it was just sort of kind of straight. Which means if we're one spline off, we gotta take this all apart again.
we're professionals here.
We're not supposed to be shooting the video until we already have it mocked up, so we make it look like we know what we're doing. See, I'm hoping that they're just slightly to the right.
What size Allen wrench is that, or don't know?
Whatever came in the kit.
All right.
Does not specify. Yeah, whatever came in the kit.
Hecho en China.
Hence why I'm not using a socket and a drill driver. Where's Senior Auto Doc? Isn't he supposed to be doing this?
I think you're supposed to put this on first. No? Oh. I don't know what those are.
Those might be the other bolts.
Oh, okay.
That's a good question.
Well,
it said to install the steering wheel without the horn button. Those two wires are going to contact the horn button.
Yeah, maybe they're the silver ones. These are short
So
silver
probably going to
ones.
be the silver ones. Well, that might be wrong already. Make sure to lubricate with supplied grease. I didn't see any supplied grease. Install the Grant adapter plate with contact ring, making sure to keep the wiring location hole at the 1030 position. No, that might actually be... That might be wrong. They didn't tell us that on this side of the instructions. So I might have to redo that. Install the beauty bezel, install the cording style adapter that typically comes in a white box boltless adapter to the ground adapter already installed with 3 shoulder bolts. Install steering shaft nut, install the steering wheel without the horn button, figuring out while using the steering wheel. Oh, they agree. If the steering wheel is off center, remove the nut in the center, pull the whole assembly off, move it over a spline or 2 as necessary to center the steering wheel, reinstall the center nut, and then they don't tell you what to do after that. So I'm going to say that you plug the 2 wires into the back of the horn button, and then find which hole combinations fit the steering wheel. Rich, I think you're right. You can't. That is going to be those same black bolts.
But can you get all the way through? Oh, you can.
So where they tell you to install the steering wheel without the horn button, that must be for the road test. And then you have to unbolt once you have the steering wheel centered and know everything works, then you unbolt the steering wheel, place the horn button on, and rebolt it all back in. So I guess we got to plug the steering column back in.
We don't have to.
Oh no, we don't have. We do need to go drive it though.
Okay.
Do we have the correct 1/8 inch gap on the back, so we don't have to loosen the clamp under the hood and change the depth of the steering shaft. So all that's still correct the way it's supposed to be.
Looks like an 1/8.
And yeah, that's pretty much about it. Make sure the steering wheel's right. If not, adjust it. And then plug these 2 wires into these 2 tabs.
Doesn't matter which one.
It should just be power and ground. It's probably bi-directional. Does not specify a positive or negative, so I'm going to hope it's just bi-directional. This should be... Yes, because it's going to get its power supply from the original turn signal switch through these 2 tabs. So one of these will be on the power side, one will be on the ground side, going into that contact plate, and then that contact plate takes the power to these 2, which go up to here. So yeah. All right, let's go for a road test.